Hi folks, welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin and welcome to the 4th edition of British Steel. It's a series I've got going on now where I talk about British metal albums that don't get quite the accolade that they're deserving of. It's not really by design, but it's kind of become albums that I grew up with really when I was going to gigs just after school and college, and you know, so it's kind of become a trip down memory lane, and I've been getting a lot of good feedback from them and people from around that time going, oh, check this out, like what about this album and what about that album. So that's what we're carrying on with. It's been long overdue. It's just the way things have been going for me lately. So anyway, today I'll be talking about Earthtone9 and Earthtone9. Just a bit of background of how I got into the band. There was 2 radio shows I listened to. There was one on a Tuesday and one on a Friday. You had Ian Camfield on XFM on a Friday night, and then on a Tuesday night you had Mary Ann Hobbs on Radio 1. And Mary Ann Hobbs used to have Phil Alexander, who was the editor of Kerrang magazine at the time. He used to do a little guest spot, and he used to put on like a new band, normally a demo or a single or a new album, and he always made a point of pushing British bands, and that was a good thing about Kerrang under his watch. He did try and push British talent, and there was like a point being made of British bands they had to work twice as hard really. Like an American band would just come out of nowhere and they'd be filling up a venue, which, you know, British bands used to work really hard, and then they'd be lucky to get a support slot, and it was just always felt like everything was edged towards the American bands a bit more. So anyway, so I first got this album, Off Kilter Enhancement. I think I won a competition actually. There was a tour going on. I got this CD, the Raging Speed Hong t-shirt, the classic one with the Sniff Glue Worship Satan. I think it was an EP by a band called GBH as well. I had a picture of a guy with like these elephant bombs, and yeah, so that caught me off guard there. Yeah, so the first track that I ever heard was on Mary Ann Hobbs, and that was from this album, I, the Girl, I. It was on a compilation that Kerrang put out as well at the time. I saw them as well at the first time I saw them was at the Lost Weekend Festival, and this was at the Docklands Arena in London. It was a Saturday and a Sunday, and it was a perfect setup because you had the main stage at the back of the main arena, and then a smaller stage at the front. So as you came in, there was a stage there to your left, and then the main stage was at the back. And true to their word, you know, it was a Kerrang stage, and they tried to push as much British talent as they could. I mean, there was 100 Reasons opened the first day. They didn't. I think they had a single out, and that was it. Obviously, in Earthtone9, there was Kill to This. There was 1 Minute Silence. A band called the Crockett's, if I remember correctly. Nashville Pussy played that stage as well. Trying to think. That was pretty. Well, more bands will come to me. It was a weekend, so more bands will come to me as go along. But yeah. So Earthtone9 set, their singer Carl Willits comes out with his mid-riff, say you're wearing a pair of boxer shorts, and that area that those boxer shorts would cover. So he comes out completely stark bollock naked. Carl Middleton his name, not Carl Willits. Where do I know that name from? Carl Willits is fucking bolt thrower, isn't he, div? Yeah, so he comes out stark bollock naked, apart from this area, with apparently an entire roll of cling film around. Fuck knows who came up with that idea and what he was thinking when he did it, but it worked because everyone remembered it. Even to this day, here I am talking about it. But yeah, storming set, and they kind of took the heaviness of someone like Will Haven, but with that sort of dynamic mixture of different things and progressiveness really of sort of Toll. The first 2 albums I think were quite experimental in a way really. They couldn't it would be like a mixed bag, especially that first album. It was just sort of here 1 minute. So you had like Low Definition Discord came out in 1998. This Off Kilter Enhancement in 1999, and then bang, Arctangent in 2000. And they released an EP in between these two as well. I can't remember what the EP was called. High Point, I think it was called. And the two songs from High Point were re-recorded for this, so I remember that much. I remember an earlier version of Tatouan RC, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyway, this is where I got into them. This was my favourite album to begin with, to be honest, but I think objectively over time, yeah, this was their best, their peak really. But the first two albums, what I was trying to say earlier, they built into what this was. So I think they found their feet on those first two albums. What wasn't quite working got dropped, and what did get worked got collected and built upon to make this. So yeah, so both the albums really, Low Definition Discord and Off Kilter Enhancement, you would have one song that was just heavy as fuck, then you would have another song that was just spacey and weird and out there, and it would have like some tribal drum beat and different vocals and things that would build up, and some of the songs were really long. Some bits have aged better than others, but I think everything kind of come together nicely on this. And yeah, everything that was on those first two albums is there, but on this, nothing kind of outstays its welcome. The weirdness goes just about weird, or just about progressive, or just as, you know, there's long songs and short songs, and everything's perfectly balanced. It knocks back and forth, but nothing outstays its welcome. Nothing gets to the point where it disappears up its own arse or gets boring or off-putting in any way. Everything is perfectly balanced on this album. I think what we've got, is it 10 tracks? Yeah, 10 tracks. And one of those is a bit of an instrumental, but yeah, I mean, Tatouan RC, when that kicks in, that, you know, that, and he's just doing that Tatouan RC, you know, singing, and then it kicks in. The way that song just builds up with that strumming during the sung chorus, and then just, you know, that fucking, when I remember whenever that was played in a club at a time, when that would be played, the dance floor would just fill up, and when it comes to that chorus, the pitch just used to kick off. Great times. And then it built up to that sung part of the chorus as well, so you've got the real heavy bit, and then that sung, and it never felt like that what would come later with metalcore, where it was just like shouty bit, clean singing bit, you know. It never felt false like that. But yeah, what a great song. And if anything, I mean, that's the one song I think most people remember, and I think if you're not even into the album, you would know that song and instantly know Earthtone9. And it's kind of like a perfect album opener, because everything is combined into that one song. It's kind of like the song's climax before the album kind of then goes from section to section as it goes on. So like Evil Crawling Eye, I'm just going to switch the light on. Much more straightforward song. Just that. It's quite a short track as well. And again, in fact, the second time I saw them, they headlined the LA2. I think that was with Cortisone. Number One Son. They were signed to Visible Noise. God Forbid opened that show. That was right. There was 5 bands, I think, but I can only remember 4. Anyway, yeah, but they opened with that track, and I never thought much of the song until I saw them, and the fact that they opened with it kind of caught my attention, and now I really like it. PRD Chaos, the way that opens, that it's got this real cool little section. It never gets repeated in the song either, and then it cuts to like this like slow section and builds up nicely. Real cool sort of atmospheric song. And it's got to be said, man, Carl Milton, he really was a fantastic vocalist. He could do so much with his voice, from the clean singing to the shouting. But even then, like, there's just these little bits where he's doing the, you know, like, ooh, and then he's just layers and puts things together, and he's really clever at how he's done those vocals and how he paces everything out and puts the song together. It's not something I really appreciated until 20 years later, where I'm looking at it again and listening to it for this episode. It's like, this really was a fucking great album. Approx Purified as well, that song just explodes into life. That dun, 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 straight away, no introduction, screaming, and this real sort of groovy riff kicking in. I think that's the song playing in the background right now, actually. But again, it all just goes on its own little journey. I do think though, yeah, it goes, the songs do kind of go on different sections and different periods, and it all kind of comes back together at the end. But again, everything's just perfectly balanced, well thought out, well structured. These are really clever songs, they really are. And this band, they didn't get the, they should have got a lot bigger, really. I don't know what went wrong, really. I think banging 3 albums out year after year, maybe they got a bit burnt out, or maybe things just didn't catch on. Who knows? But I think time has been really kind to this album. I think the 2 songs though, the real sort of crowning achievement, I think, is the track Walking Day, which again, just a real atmospheric, slow, sort of ambient song that just, it just goes through all different peaks and valleys. It goes heavy, it's mellow. The guitars as well on that track, just really melodic and really sort of mellow, and you could just tell Earthtone9 could do whatever they wanted. They were never stuck to a particular genre or a particular style. They could mix up different things, and what would have been, they would have attempted something like this on the first 2 albums, but on a track like Walking Day, that's where they really perfected it, I think. And Star Damage for Beginners, that's a track, that's my favourite Earthtone9 track, actually. I mean, I think Tatuan RC is probably the best sort of single, or the best representative of the album if you've not heard it. Like, that's definitely the track to start off with. But my personal favourite is Star Damage for Beginners. It starts off with this computerized vocal. I wonder what the lyrics to that is, actually. The only way out was to something. Let's see if I can find that quickly. The only way out was something, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, real fucking cool riff. Bang, straight in, awesome drums, great vocals, but then it goes in and then it just flips, the flick of a switch, into this beautiful sung chorus. Let me see if I can find the lyrics to that. Yeah, take a piece, you earned it. Take a pound, you earned it. I can feel the flesh burn, burning. Fucking awesome. Real short song though, which, where Walking Day was a really long song, this little 2.5 minutes, it's not a long song at all, but it's heavy as fuck, and it's got just the right bit of melody to sort of break everything up, and it's a nice little bit of a palate cleanser, really, or a bit of a reset from what you had with that epic. But yeah, Binary 101 as well, that was another big track around the time, and yeah, everything that I've just said already, really. And it just, great way to close an album. And yeah, Arctangent, I think this was the band's, you know, finest hour, really. If you've not, a close up there. But yeah, I saw them again. Awesome artwork as well, some great images in here. I saw them headline the LA2, I remember saying that, but then I saw them a few years ago, actually. They had reformed, and they did a new album, I think in 2013, which was alright, not earth shattering, but I don't think it was. Yeah, look, this is the artwork at the time. What the fuck is that all about? But yeah, you had a lot of that, really. Yeah, I saw them opening for Vision of Disorder in the Underworld. That was really good seeing them again as well. There weren't a lot of people in the venue at the time either, so I got real close and managed to see them there. So 3 times I saw them in total, but yeah, they were everywhere at the time. They did a tour as well with, I think it was 4. It was them, Stamping Ground, Lost Prophets, that's said about them the better, right? And it was the bands that had a girl singing for them. really good bands. Blonde Girl. Defenestration? I think that's what they were called. That was a 4-bill lineup. That was a good tour. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling now. But yeah, British Steel. This definitely owns a place amongst it. This should be considered a classic in the British metal canon. It's aged wonderfully as well. And yeah, I've had a really good time listening to this over the last couple of weeks, getting my memories back and revisiting it. And yeah, it's aged wonderfully. You should really, no doubt you can pick up a second-hand copy or something from Amazon, cheap enough. But also, they, I noticed as well that they're putting out everything they've done on vinyl for the first time. It's like a 20th anniversary. So yeah, if you are a vinyl junkie and you've not heard this, or you did hear it back in the day and you want to check it out again and revisit it, I would highly recommend it. And yeah, maybe check out getting that vinyl. So yeah, thanks for watching. British Steel. Next up I'm going to be doing One Dice, but then yeah, we're going to be doing Raging Speedo, I'm going to be doing Iron Monkey, going to be doing Dearly Beheaded, and yeah, a bunch of other bands in the underground from around that time. So thanks for watching. See you all soon. See ya.